Timewyrm Apocalypse by Nigel Robinson. Prologue. Nothing. Then warmth. Warm nothingness. Then otherness. Something else, something different. Pulsing, beating, energies, no, lives, throbbing, pulsing, swimming around, feeding. Feeding who? Feeding me. Me? Me! Darkness. And then there is light. Bright and cold and real and shocking and painful light, blinding me. Calmer now. Comforting. Shadows becoming shapes. Reactions becoming reasons. And the light shines in the darkness, and I comprehend it. 15 billion years ago there was nothing, just a cold, dark emptiness. And that void was without form or meaning. Then there was light, a small pinprick of incalculable energy which gave the cradling vacuum purpose. Less than a millisecond passed, and that super-dense ball grew and shuddered and exploded in a blazing outburst of energy and particles. They streamed out of its centre and met and coalesced, forming new energies and atoms and molecules. And still the detritus from that first explosion sped ever outwards, reacting and combining with each other in a marvellously ordered chaos, forming gases and new elements and solid matter. Billions of years passed, and stars were born and died in the aftermath of the great explosion. Galaxies were born, and planets created out of that first cosmic dust. On those planets, primitive molecules formed complicated chains which, suffused with radiations, formed even greater chains to create life in all its forms, from the simplest bacteria to complex reasoning beings. Billions of years passed. Civilizations arose on those planets and fell and rose again. Still the universe, for that is what those civilizations had called the aftershock of that first cataclysmic event, expanded ever outwards. And then it stopped, the force of the explosion finally exhausted. For another billion years the universe existed in an uneasy state of equilibrium. On the ancient planet of Logopolis, a group of mathematicians attempted to maintain that equilibrium. Through a series of complex equations, they opened a series of charged vacuum emboidments, CVEs, which they hoped would stop the collapse of the universe. Without them, they knew that the universe would surely contract and fall back onto itself, until it finally returned to the state it was in the beginning. Their plans were undermined when an unthinking renegade from the legendary planet of Gallifrey upset their calculations. Logopolis was destroyed. It was only through the intervention of a mysterious traveller known to some as the Doctor that the universe was saved. Realising that creation still had much to achieve, he opened a single CVE in a distant constellation. The universe had been given a breathing space in which to prove itself. Several more billion years passed. Civilizations arose and fell and rose again. Then, somewhere in the region of a constellation which had once been called Cassiopeia, the CVE glimmered, blinked, and closed.